folks. So we are back with GMT, and now we're moving into our good stuff segment. And this morning we want to highlight Mr. Jacob Cox, who is a national sprint triathlon champion at the Rainbow Cup this weekend. Jacob Cox had an outstanding race at the Rainbow Cup on Saturday, 10 June 2023, held at Turtle Beach in Tobago, beating the strong competition and winning first place overall male in the National Junior Sprint Triathlon Championships 2023. The sprint triathlon consisted of a 750-meter swim, 20K bike ride, and 5K run. Jacob Cox emerged out of the sea in first place at a time of 10 minutes and 42 seconds, and he transitioned well into the bike ride and led the way for 3 out of 4 laps, clocking a time of 39.24 minutes. And then the run started a bit slow, but he kicked it up into another gear and picked off 2 athletes to lead the way to cross the finish line, clocking a final time of 1 hour, 12 minutes and 43 seconds, with his closest rival, Noah Teixeira, crossing the line at 1 hour, 13 minutes and 3 seconds in third place. And third place went to Colby Sylvester from Grenada in 1 hour, 16 minutes and 48 seconds. So congratulations to you, Mr. Jacob Cox, so young Mr. Jacob Cox. And I don't know if you've realized, but he's been doing quite well in the field of athletics in various forms over the past year. And we're certainly looking forward to see what the future holds for this young man. So big congratulations there. The triathlon is certainly not an easy feat. Well, viewers, just want to say it's been great to be back with you. I know I've been away for a while. Unfortunately, I was out due to just some health reasons, but I am back and ready to roll. And we're getting rolling this morning with none other than Mr. Terrance Sandiford, who is he's him in the field of culture, especially when mass is concerned. But today he's under a new title in the form of a political activist and a member of the IDA. So good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Sandiford.
Good morning, Mrs. Jackson. Pleasant good morning to you and your visitors, your viewers, and everybody in Tobago and the worldwide.
All right, yeah. Great. Now, first of all, I want to get started on your thoughts on the passing of Dr. Davidson Jefferson. Dr. Davidson, I mean, certainly a great loss for Tobago.
Definitely.
So I'm just going to give you the opportunity to just spend a few minutes speaking about him.
I first met Dr. Davidson at McCool's building, where is now Tambourine Square, with E.N.R. Robinson and Ho Choi and all the others, Murphy John and all the others. And he always gave me the impression that he's Tobagonian to the core. Tobagonian to the core. Dr. Jeff was a quiet, honest human man, but with a wealth of knowledge and strong and a lot of strength behind him. And his passing is of significant importance to this assembly for the mere reason that they don't take time to change the things that they are doing, that they could inform the Tobago public about these great heroes that are passing. Patrick Arnold died recently, and it's only after he's dead, and I've been making numerous overtures for them to do something for him while he's alive. But back to Dr. Jeff. Dr. Jeff used to be my tenant at ETech when I used to be managing the ETech Maulia. And I always had a cordial relation with him. He was never vexatious or hostile. He and his wife, Barbara, were my friends. We used to make jokes all the time. I used to go over to his office and lie him and that kind of something. But Tobago is at a loss now with Dr. Jeff Davidson.
How do you think that he should be recognized?
I think some building of stature, not only one, but one of them, a building of stature that could say this is the Dr. Jeff Davison building. And secondly, he was an educator too.
Yes, he was.
Right. And
He was a lecturer at UE.
all of that. And something must be done in the education field to solidify Dr. Jeff Davison's contribution to the education of children and people in Tobago and by extension Trinidad, because he has had an effect on the people in Trinidad too. Dr. Jeff, Barbara, I'm sorry, accept my condolences from the Sandiford's family and by extension NAR and Tobago.
Great. Now, I want to move on to your new position, I should say, in that of being a political activist. Why have you transitioned from being somebody very instrumental in the culture to being a political activist?
All right. Before I go further, Mrs. Jackson, I just want to say to this present administration, you all used to be running up and down Stanley Baird's house, running and seeking advice and that kind of thing. Only pass and talk to the man now. Oh God, have a heart. Talk to him. Go and talk to Stanley. Yeah.
All right. So why political activists?
I think I could make more of a significant contribution in my new positioning. And let me tell you something. Everything I'm about to say here today, this morning, goes back to the Tobago Autonomy Bill. Everything I'm saying here today. Why I get out of culture? I have seen the deterioration and mismanagement of culture. It was bad, but it has gotten worse. We have given $17 million to the tourism division. And because there are two cabals in the tourism division, one black and gold, one black and silver. One doing what they want, the other one ain't doing nothing. And they all contributing to the demise of the culture in Tobago, of Carnival in Tobago. Because they don't care, they're only looking to see about themselves and making deals left, right, and center. That is how they are. That is how they are. And you know what's hurt me most of all, Mrs. Jackson? For 21 years, Tobago was battered and bruised and nullified and victimized by the PNM administration, because they may know better. PNM administration. We give these set of carpetbaggers an opportunity to go and fix it so that Tobagonians could benefit. And what they do? Nothing of significance. And all they're talking about is what they go do, what they plan to do. On the hustings, they talk about all kind of things to make people go behind them and follow them. And what happened? We put a sweetbread maker to run 60,000 of us. But he is not really the Secretary for Finance. He's not the Secretary for Finance because you don't know about it. Mm-hmm. He never opened a bicycle shop or fishing depot. So we made the fundamental mistake and give him, and because he has gift of gab, give him the leeway. And true to form, he changed the 21 years of suffering for Tobagonians in the red jersey to this time in the black jersey. That is all.
And you're choosing, I should say, the IDA as your political vehicle to take your activism forward.
All right. Yes, I'm doing that because a number of factors. Dr. Sandiford is an experienced politician. She ain't hungry and go want to bend her hand behind her back and take bribe and that kind of something. Her positioning at this moment with the House of Assembly bill is of critical importance. And let me speak a little bit about that. Because we don't have an assembly with oversight powers, that we could call these comedians and pull them to task in front of committee and let them drill them down to get the exact things what happening. Because we don't have powers to make laws, to develop communities as groups, that they can now tell the assembly what it is they want for their community, not vice versa. And because we continue to be in this quagmire, that monies, hundreds of millions of dollars is being spent. We spent $27 million on Manta Lodge, $27 million. And what happens? We do have an operator, we're looking for a buyer, and it started rotten already, you know. I had people up there in Speyside call me and tell me, Sandiford, you know the place started rotten already, right? So it's another set of refurbishing, money spent when they eventually get an operator. You're opening a water park. You're opening a water park for $500 million. How significant is that in regards to Tobagonians developing? How significant is that? I hear the economic carpetbagger say that how strawberries we will be selling strawberries to Trinidad and all kind of something. But he allows $17 million to go for carnival with a stage in the sea, right? And nothing, this short of $700,000. And yet, the short on the jazz festival. Okay. Up to now, we haven't get any information on the nearly $500,000 we spent on D'Angelo. You're supposed to get information on the zip line that the baker was saying he would take Tracy to court and all kind of something. Nothing like that, nothing like that. And it continues. And I am saying, Tobagonians started to wake up already, and they will not allow another 21 years under this new regime. He's supposed to resign 21, 25 days up to now. Not a public statement to say, is AI, is this man, is Vanna's voice, or whoever it is. Nothing at all. And he was a guy, every toilet opening, he down there to open it. Taking over all the secretary's position, doing, speaking to the public. He in charge. But now, 21 days, nobody in hearing nothing from him. So I am calling on people to reject him, put a government in place that has the will of the people and the knowledge to do it properly. That we have a government that even said if Dr. Soyafat is the chief sec, she would have to account to the people. And that is it. That's it.
All right. Well, Mr. Sandiford, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're just going to get into a bit more of just some of your concerns with this present administration. So viewers, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Tobago Updates. Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we are continuing our conversation with Mr. Sandiford, Mr. Terrance Sandiford, who is now a political activist, and he's going to be serving, well, he is working along with the IDA as a member of the IDA, and he's been sharing some of his concerns about this present administration, and yeah, he has quite a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I mean, he's expressed some of them before. Now, just a point of clarification. A couple of things that you mentioned in terms of the water park. Some concerns he had at the water park, but that's a private investment, as well as the strawberry farm, and that's also a private investment. Just to clarify those things are not THA projects. They are private investors that are operating. However, we want to turn to some of the concerns that you have. Now, we saw the Joint Select Committee meeting that took place last week, and I'm really anxious to get some of your thoughts on it, especially with the loss that was recorded for Carnival and the Tobago Jazz Festival.
Mrs. Jackson, I am so disappointed. But you know, really, I shouldn't be here because um, everybody at the feeding trough,
Yes.
the feeding trough turned from red to black now. The thing about it is that I felt totally embarrassed when in front of Joint Select Committee, our Tobagonian brothers and sisters couldn't have answered one iota of the amount of people that visited Tobago from last year and at the present. I am saying, is this a bunch of comedians? I can't understand it. And how they can send people to Trinidad without that information. And here what happened. People calling me and saying, Sandiford boy, is you had to be blamed for that because when you was in the hospital for 20 days, you're convincing all the nurses and everybody to vote for PDP and all kind of something. Everywhere you're talking, you're sitting down in Parliament talking, vote PDP, and that is the after effects of it. I am saying something is radically wrong, and the only way this can change is to forget about the assembly bill they have in Trinidad. Forget about that totally. And let us introduce a new bill that would really put Tobago separate and apart from the majority of the world, where true democracy is being practiced. Because we, in the IDA, have started practicing it, democracy, so that when we get into office, it wouldn't be something of a challenge to us. It would be part and parcel of us.
Now, Mr. Sandiford, at the joint, this is not the first time that the THA has appeared before the Joint Select Committee, and and it raised a few eyebrows. A few years ago, the Joint Select Committee investigated the THA, and there was lots of comments and lots of concerns about what was presented, and it seems as though it has not changed.
Yeah.
There has been a change in administration, but the public servants still, as you said, let down Tobagonians and embarrass Tobagonians. So what can the IDA do differently that would change the outcome and would change the preparedness of our public servants when they go before the parliament?
I have two girlfriends. One, I ain't calling the names. One live in Top Hill, one live in Milford Court. And I know they're going to be vexed with me because they are PDP supporters to the wrong. Hear what I'm saying. We have already embarked on a training plan and program, not for only IDA members, for all members of the assembly. We have to retool our workers. We have to give them the knowledge with this new dispensation of AI and all of that. We have to train them to be able to perform diligently, to perform to the best of their ability, to do research, do more investigating work to bring Tobago up to status. We are just under Haiti in regards to poverty. We are just under Haiti.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, because we have nothing going for ourselves. We presently have nothing. And I'm saying all the
But Mr. Sandiford, I just want you to elaborate a little bit more on that point, as to why you say that we have nothing going for ourselves and we're just a little bit better than Haiti.
So, well, I will ask you the question. If it is we have people in the Tobago House of Assembly working in the tourism division that go in front of Joint Select Committee and cannot answer at least if 50 tourists come, if 200 pass through. Let me tell you something. Let me divert a little bit. In 2018, the NCBA Tobago region produced Tobago Fest with $60,000. $60,000. And we had about nearly 2,500, 2,300 and something persons coming through because we did a survey and we knew who was coming and who wasn't coming. 2,300 people. You take 17 million, and you can't produce more than 3,000 people? we are the financial gurus and then in the assembly is, and I hear Anselm making a statement that was to bring people to Tobago. $17 million to bring people to Tobago. And you still have a shortfall of $700,000. What kind of comedy economist he is?
Now, Mr. Sandiford, in your experience in the culture arena, whenever Tobago has hosted carnival or hosted jazz, has it ever made a profit? Is the aim of those events to make profit?
Well, I second guessing that now, because if the apparent Secretary for Finance could tell you $17 million was placed in the hands of a bunch of carpetbaggers to administer the carnival, and you saying that was just to bring people, and you make a loss, how you could even come to the public with that kind of erroneous statement?
Well, what was also interesting is that we had it being defended by both the Minister of Culture, Tourism and Culture, Mr. Randall Mitchell, as well as the chairman of NTB, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters.
Gypsy is a comedian. Forget about he. Gypsy is a comedian. But Randall Mitchell, you know what he's talking about? He lucky he get a senatorship, right? And he had to fight for Inanna. He has to fight for it, and he would say anything that Rowley tell him to say. None of them casting nothing else than Rowley tell them. And that is the reason why we want to change this Assembly Act.
Now, how should the festivals be run in order to make a profit?
Look, listen. We need to increase our social programs to help persons who are destitute, not able to do certain things. But we cannot take hard-earned taxpayers' money, your tax, real tax, all of us tax, and throw it behind bad waters. The festival, let me go back. The Festival Commission is no longer running carnival. There's a committee comprising of some Lazaronians and carpetbaggers that is running the carnival because they see it fit to take it over and that everybody could put their hand behind their back and get a change. It should be returned to the Festival Commission. But an overhauling of the Festival Commission is sorely needed. It must be overhauled. And new rules and guidelines must be implemented so that you don't find nefarious behaviors taking place in the Festival Commission. It must be structured, and I'll go back again to the new government, that if it is you have oversight committees, all the people in them assembly, on the boards and all over the place, that doing what they want and that kind of something, they would have to account to oversight committees. Oversight committees, the assembly right now is too small. The 8 persons on top there making all the decisions. They don't come back to the population. They say they're having town meeting, but what they're doing, they're just telling you. We need to have a comprehensive overhaul so that the communities could have representation that could come and grill the Secretary for Sports, the Secretary for Finance, Agriculture. What we doing with agriculture? We talking and nothing. The extension officers not working. They're not working. So we need to put them back to work. Do programs that they will go back and visit farmers and them. If you go down by licensing office, 922 of them have cars. It ain't no car park for the thing. And all they're doing is walking in and walking out. All
right, well, Mr. Sandiford, we'll unfortunately have to leave it out right there because we are out of time. But I want to thank you this morning for being on with us and for sharing your views in the current affairs of the day right here in Tobago.
Thank you. And I will always express myself because me ain't looking to eat no food. I have food on my table. Thank you.
That's a really interesting way to end our conversation this morning. Well, viewers, we've got a lot more coming up for you on the program, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with GMT.